Have you ever wondered why some people just seem to build wealth so easily, while so many others feel like they're just running on a financial treadmill? You know, working harder and harder but never really getting ahead? Well, today we're going to open up the money playbook that really separates those two paths. Let's get right into it.
It all kind of starts with this number right here, $1.66 trillion. That's the total auto loan debt in the United States alone. It's actually the single biggest source of non-housing debt for the entire country, and it points to a massive crack in the financial foundation for so many people.
Financial expert Dave Ramsey really puts it bluntly with this one. He argues that this constant cycle of car payments is a financial trap. It's almost mathematically designed to keep you from ever really getting ahead. Now, that's a pretty bold statement, but let's see if the numbers actually back it up.
So let's make this personal for a second. Think about it. After your rent or your mortgage, what is your single biggest monthly bill? For a huge number of us, it's a car payment. So we have to ask the hard question, is that payment building your future, or is it slowly, quietly draining it away?
To get to the bottom of that, we first need to explore what I like to call the middle-class money traps. These are the really common, almost invisible financial habits that can stop people from building real, lasting wealth. And with cars, the problem kicks off with something called depreciation. See, unlike a house that can go up in value, a car is basically a wealth-destroying machine. It loses a fifth of its value the second you drive it off the lot. And in just 5 years, more than half of what you paid for it is just gone. Boop.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how we try to manage this cost. Lenders will often charge higher interest rates for longer loans because, well, they're riskier. So to get that lower monthly payment, that tempting $5.99 a month, people will accept an 84-month loan. That's a 7-year loan. But look at the real cost. You end up paying over $15,000 in interest alone. That's almost $6,000 more than the shorter loan, all just to have a smaller payment each month.
So here's the absolute bottom line, the fundamental difference. A house can be an asset. It can grow in value and build your net worth over time. A car loan, on the other hand, is just debt you've taken on for a liability that's bleeding value every single day. It is actively working against your wealth. And you know, this kind of thinking goes way beyond just cars. Things like paying only the minimum on your credit cards, that can double your debt in just a couple of years. Or letting your spending creep up with every single pay raise. That's called lifestyle inflation. Or taking on a mortgage that's so big it feels like it owns you. These are all really common traps that just quietly sabotage your financial progress. All right, so now let's flip the script. Let's look at the other side of the equation. Because the wealthy don't just have more money, they're playing with a completely different playbook, a totally different mindset.
And the key to unlocking this mindset is a concept called opportunity cost. Put simply, it's just what you give up whenever you make a choice. Every single dollar you spend on one thing is a dollar you can't use to earn something else. And once you see that, it becomes this secret lens for every single financial decision you make.
And this slide just perfectly illustrates that divide. The common mindset asks, what can I buy with this money? It sees money as a tool for consumption. But the wealthy mindset asks, what can this money earn for me? It sees money as a tool for production. Just switching that one question, it changes everything.
This reframes the entire purpose of money. For a lot of folks, money is a reward that you earn, and then you spend it. For the wealthy, capital is a weapon. It's a strategic tool you use to control outcomes, to negotiate better deals, and to build systems that generate even more capital.
You know, their view of debt is also completely different. The middle class often uses debt for survival, to buy a car or a home you can't afford outright. The wealthy use debt for control. They'll create whole separate legal entities to take on the debt for a property, which shields their personal assets and gives them massive tax advantages. For them, it's a sign of insulation, not weakness.
So their playbook becomes pretty clear. They prioritize buying assets, things that make them money, over buying lifestyle upgrades. They take calculated risks for potentially much higher returns. They build passive income streams so they're not just trading their time for money. And critically, they own businesses. In fact, for the top 1%, nearly 35% of all their income comes from business ownership.
So the big question is, how can you or I break out of that consumer cycle and start adopting a builder mindset? Well, it all starts with building a solid financial foundation one step at a time.
Experts usually point to about 7 foundational habits. First up, build a 6-month emergency fund so a surprise expense doesn't completely derail you.
Next, keep your insurance and your investments separate. Let each one do its job properly. And this one is crucial. Pay off your credit cards in full every single month to avoid that insane high-interest trap. Look, these aren't secrets. This is just discipline in action. A really simple but powerful tool to get you started is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your after-tax income goes to your needs, things like housing, food, utilities. 30% can go to your wants, the fun stuff you enjoy but don't strictly need. And here's the most important part. A full 20% goes directly to savings and investments. This simple rule basically automates the builder mindset for you.
And that 20%, that's what you can put to work building passive income. Money you earn without actively trading your time for it. This can come from investments in the stock market, rental income from real estate, or from building a small business that generates revenue over time, like selling an online course. The goal here is to stop trading all of your time for money. All of this really leads to a final, crucial shift in how we think about the long-term purpose of building wealth in the first place. Because once you actually start building it, the game completely changes. It's no longer just about accumulation, it becomes about preservation. It's about creating a sustainable foundation that can last for generations. And that, my friends, requires a completely different level of strategic thinking. So, we'll end with this question. You have a job, you go to work every day. But what job have you given to your money? Is it working just to buy you things that lose value? Or is it working to build a system that will one day support you? That choice, that's the foundation of your entire financial future.